All right, this is Weather and Water Center 3 at Mitchell Elementary, and Carrie to present it to you.
Hello everybody, thanks for joining us at ELF. We are discussing Center 3, which is the water cycle and incredible ice. And we're going to learn about the characteristics of water and the nature of the water cycle. We always have some wonderful books that you could take a peek at. There are 4 in the center, but this one I think might be the best for the older grades. And then maybe there's a different one for younger grades. Again, these could be used for the introduction and conclusion as well, but we do have these earmarked for Center 3. So as always, we want to start with our boring things like books and papers and move on to our experiments. So these are the other things that can be found in this bin. This is a description of the water cycle. Transpiration is where the water evaporates and goes into the earth, up into the sky. Condensation is when a cloud forms. Precipitation is when it falls back down, and then it accumulates into water in the ocean or rivers and streams. Transpiration is where the water comes from the land masses, and evaporation is where it comes from the water masses. And there's another simpler diagram for the littler kids. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. They call it collection instead of accumulation. And then as we discussed in the introduction, we're talking about how much water is usable. Again, only 97% of our water is in the ocean, so it's salt water. Only 3% is fresh water. 79% of our fresh water is ice caps and glaciers, and then groundwater is 20%, blah, blah, blah. On down it goes to human use. So you can kind of look at that, and we're going to talk again about the importance of conserving our water. And then we have a nice diagram from years ago of the water cycle that someone did for a project. So you can look at that one too. So once you get done with one more thing, sorry. So this is the only center we're really talking about ice as it's a form of water. And this talks about the magic temperature of water where it freezes. And so this is probably a really good poster for 3rd and 4th grade. You could read it word for word if you wanted to, but it talks about the triple point of water where ice, water, and water vapor coexist. And water is the only substance in which we commonly experience near its triple point in everyday life. So then it talks about the heating and cooling and expansion and contraction of water and the gases that make water, and the frozen solid water. And that an important fact of water is that solid water, or ice, is less dense than liquid water. You could ask students what it would mean if solid water sunk to the bottom. If it was more dense, what would happen to lakes? It would kill all the fish if the ice was sunk to the bottom and kill all the fish. So magic water is very important to life on Earth, and without it, we wouldn't be here if it was more dense. So that's very important to cover. Okay, so now on to the fun stuff. With the center, you'll need to have hot water, so you'll share it with the other centers. I'm not sure if the carafe will look like that or not. But we're going to talk about a mini water cycle. So this activity with the plastic cup, rubber band, and saran wrap is going to talk about how evaporation and condensation happens. So we're going to take some hot water. Of course, the adults should only do this. I'm going to pour it in there, and then we already see some evaporation. We are going to take some saran wrap, which again I should have had ready up to done. I think on take 2 I would have.
Evaporation.
Lots of evaporation. Quick. Quick.
You can see it.
Okay, well. Then you're going to take the saran wrap and cover the glass and a rubber band. So this is talking about evaporation. So they can kind of see the gas in there. It's actually still steaming. Then what you're going to do is take an ice cube. So you'll need to bring in ice cubes for this center and put it on top. And as that kind of sinks down, you'll kind of have to get a kid's eye view of this stuff, but eventually there's going to be some warm water vapor is going to hit the ice, which is ice cold, and it will cause condensation. It's going to melt the ice and cause, but it's water vapors. It's not really the ice melting that's causing the water to condense in there. It's the, is it showing? Let me turn it.
I'm going to try it.
Let me turn it this way and pull that. Yeah, it's not going very quick.
Oh, there's a little bit you can see.
Okay, so as it's condensing, actually you can see it from the top now. You can see condensation on the top of the saran wrap. I move.
Oh, nice.
So there's all the condensation. And look, it's getting ready to drip down. Guess what that is? Precipitation. So it's not the ice melting, it's the water vapor cooling that we're really trying to drive home here. So evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and then of course it's collecting back in the bottom. And so we have a mini water cycle right here in our classroom. Fascinating, fascinating. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, you can have the students work in pairs, and we're gonna take some ice cubes and some tap water, so pardon me while I jet into the kitchen. Our laboratory.
Some more condensation.
And we're going to talk about the density of ice as water in its solid form. So we're going to take our little 2 glasses. Again, the kids can work in pairs. And we have a glass, let's see, half and half maybe. And put an ice cube in there, and they can notice that it floats. And you can again talk about how important that is, that ice floats, that water in its solid form is less dense than water in its liquid form. And then you're going to have the students just take turns trying to sink the ice. They're just going to pour water right on top, and they're going to talk about that the ice won't sink. And again, this is just really a hands-on experiment to kind of drive home the point of the density of ice. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Center 3. If you have any questions, you can email us at mitchellelf@gmail.com. And again, this is a center you need to bring ice cubes with as a volunteer. Thank you.